Hey guys, it's Reagan Kelly here from the Freedom 15 movement, and what I'd like to share with you today is one of several fundamental lessons I actually learnt from a young 7-year-old entrepreneur named Tatianna. Now, I actually met Tatianna going back around 6 months ago now. I was out for a walk at the time in my local neighbourhood in the city I was living in over in Canada. And as I got up closer to Tatianna, she was actually selling some things just from the concrete in her driveway. She had some homemade lemonade, she had some bracelets that her and her friends had been making, and she had a collection of well-loved comic books there as well for sale. And I thought to myself, this is really a sight that we don't see very often today in our residential streets. And I also felt that there was a thing or two that I could absolutely learn from this young lady. So I sat with her for as long as I possibly could and really tried to soak up any of those implicit lessons that she could impart on me. She absolutely did not disappoint. She had me thinking for hours after this and even into the days after meeting her. And one of the lessons, and the one I'd like to share with you today, is actually how to stop worrying about the opinions of other people. See, somewhere between that age when we're a child and when we grow into adulthood, we let these fears and really a fear of rejection, a fear of the opinion of other people, and really create a hesitation around that. We let that creep into our lives and really begin to influence our decisions. See, most of us are guilty of caring about the opinion of another person. Caring means that you respect their opinion. It's simply human nature. Worrying about it is a completely different story. And you might say, well, what's the difference? Well, worrying about the opinion of another person implies in some way that your self-worth is actually dependent or contingent upon their appraisal of you or their opinion of you. See, if Tatianna had let the opinions of other people influence her on that particular day, she would have absolutely lost sight of her end goal. And I'll speak about that in just a moment. But in the time that I was sitting there with her, we had dozens of people walk past, we had cars drive past and give her, funny looks. As I said, it's not a very common sight in today's society, or certainly not that I have seen. In addition, her family was inside and they weren't particularly interested in what she was doing either. And I asked her if she had any friends that were going to be helping her out. And she said that each day she would just sit there on her own and her friends would be off doing other things. Now, as I said, Tatianna had a vision, and her vision and what she was actually saving for was a new collection of Lululemon gear, of course, gym wear and whatnot. And as a 7-year-old, I thought, that's something pretty cool to be aiming for, and certainly to be working for, and to be really putting herself out on the line to make these dreams she had a reality. So it really got me thinking. As I said, somewhere along the line we let these fears creep in, but in fact most success stories in history are founded on a rejection, or really an opinion of somebody else. It's really been the kickstart of many famous careers, including one of my absolutely favourite entrepreneurs who has an absolutely fabulous story, and that is Ralph Lauren. See, at age 26, he was a salesman of a tie company. And while he was in that position as salesman, he created his own tie. Now, that tie was vehemently rejected by his company. He was told that his tie was absolutely 100% commercially not viable. It would never sell. Now, shortly after that, that person imparted their opinion on him, and he really faced that level of rejection. He actually went out on his own. He took rags and he turned them into his own collection of ties from a drawer from his office in the Empire State Building. Now, today, Ralph Lauren has a net worth of $7.7 billion US. Now, that could have been a completely different story had he listened to the opinion of that other supervisor in his previous company. So it really wasn't until I had this conversation with Tatianna that the idea of not worrying about the opinions of other people really took on a new meaning for me. And I really realized that the opinions of other people aren't going to get me to where I want to go. They're not going to get Tatianna to where she wants to go, and the same applies for you. The opinions of other people are simply not going to pay your bills, and they certainly won't feed your family. So you go out and you absolutely do whatever is necessary, whatever you think is right, particularly if that relates to your home-based business. So thanks very much, you guys. If you haven't already, make sure you jump on over to freedom15.info, check it out, see what we're about. Make sure you subscribe as well. I've got a pretty cool surprise for you guys in the next week or so. And yeah, thanks again for watching. Go be brave, and we'll speak to you tomorrow. Bye.